The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. A momentous occasion for this episode. We didn't talk about it too much in the lead up, but we have reached episode 70 of the illustrious, most dangerous, most inspirational, New York's #1 podcast for hip hop, The Rap Roundtable. 70 of these episodes.
70 piece, man.
That's a fact.
Doing this for a minute.
Shit. Road to 100.
Shit. And we used to do this like just once a month. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. We've increased the output, mainly because of y'all on YouTube. Y'all forced our hand. Y'all was like, we want more content. We you know what I mean? And YouTube was like, if you want these people to see what you put out, you got to put the content out. Yeah. Your demand and YouTube's functionality said, Roundtable needs to be heard from a little bit more. Now we're not gonna spam you like other channels. As you can see, we still, measure our joints, you know what I mean? Pause. Hey!
Oh. Hey, yo!
I'm out the game already.
Oh, man. That was
I'm out of the game already.
That was a comment for the last episode, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Yo.
We still measure our output.
Technical foul.
You know what I mean? That was a technical foul, $50,000 fine. I'm glad it happened early before we got drunk, so they can't really cook me too bad. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who's been guests on the show. Shout out to Judas. We couldn't start it without him. Judas, hey. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jeray, who kind of helped bridge the gap between Judas and Mase.
True.
Shout out to you. But of course, it's your boy Jarv here, alongside Sincere the Rap Snob.
What up?
Alongside Deanie the Balance.
May the force be with you.
Alongside the homie Mase.
It's good, yeah.
Alongside the new chairs in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Alongside the homie Walt, you know what I mean?
The God.
Big Walt.
Big Walt in the building. Alongside Kobe Bryant, you know what I mean?
Kobe.
The GOAT.
Rest in peace. You can find the Rap Roundtable on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and of course Twitter. Twitter's going up. Tap in. A lot of good conversations. Sometimes they throw tomatoes. Sometimes they show love. But the Twitter's very active. I'd say that's our most active social media space outside of YouTube is Twitter. So make sure you follow us on there.
Right.
This beat you hear playing in the background is brought to you by Sincere the Rap Snob. He makes beats.
Holla at me.
Sure.
If you're a rapper, a rapper who's fire and you want to tap in, shoot us an email at raproundtable1994@gmail.com. We're trying to get these beats out there, get our homie placed. Make sure you do that.
Super producer.
Yes, sir.
And of course, my favorite drop.
We are tonight's entertainment.
The Troublemakers are here.
Yes, sir.
So,
we
Beatz,
back.
Rhymes, and Lists, contributed
homie.
to the Rap Roundtable.
Salute.
Affiliate.
He put out, definitely affiliate.
Part of the network.
He put out, a little comparison with our favorite rappers, Jay-Z and Nas.
Oh, shit.
He went with their first albums.
Oh, no, they're going to talk about Nas and Jay-Z again. Shut up.
It's not our fault. Our subscribers love the conversation.
Hey.
Imagine telling KFC not to sell chicken. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Can't do it.
Big fact.
If they want the chicken, we're going to sell them chicken.
Right.
But Beatz, Rhymes, and Lists put that comparison of Reasonable Doubt versus Illmatic, a song for song, 9 versus 9. Not the whole body of work, but 9 on 9 versus-ish kind of debate-ish.
Yeah.
Sincere the Rap Star, can you break that down for us?
Yeah. So, the homie, Beatz, Rhymes, and Life, he's actually put up a lot.
That's a Beatz, Rhymes, Life.
Beatz, Rhymes, and Lists. Sorry.
Our bad guy.
Flub #1 of the night.
There you go.
Migos already hitting.
Pre-game 10.
Yes, sir.
Got the Añejo,
Yeah.
the 70. Little dork.
You wasn't lying. That shit hitting.
Already?
It's creeping in. Definitely creeping.
Yeah, it was different.
It's marinade.
Beatz, Rhymes, and Lists. All right. He's actually been putting up a lot of comparison, a lot of side by side versus ish style debates between different albums and Illmatic. Right. Apparently, the point is Illmatic, or the question is Illmatic really the best album of all time?
It's a dangerous question.
You know what I mean?
It is.
And so he's been going up on Twitter, putting up things like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy against it. I think he put The Blueprint against it. But the one that obviously caught my eye and probably all of our attention is Illmatic versus Reasonable Doubt, because these are two undeniable classics, regardless of what some of y'all might want to say out there that nobody was checking for Jay-Z when Reasonable Doubt came out. Yeah.
More on that later.
I don't know what to tell y'all, but Reasonable Doubt, it made waves, you know what I mean? But it's these two MCs' debut albums, right? And I know we've at times gone back and forth about like, which one's better, Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt. So let's go through it. All right. So I'll just go through the side by side songs that he put up against each other. And it's 9 for 9 because there's 9 songs in Illmatic, 9 on Reasonable Doubt, right? He picked 9 from Reasonable Doubt. New York State of Mind versus Can't Knock the Hustle. That's the first battle, right? Life's a Bitch versus Politics as Usual, right? The World Is Yours versus Brooklyn's Finest. And I guess he's going in order, basically, for this one. Halftime versus Dead Presidents 2. Memory Lane versus Feeling It. One Love versus The Evils. One Time for Your Mind versus Can I Live. Represent versus Friend or Foe. And lastly, It Ain't Hard to Tell versus Regrets. So I guess he skipped.
Ain't no nigga.
So he skipped a bunch of songs and just went straight to the last song in Illmatic versus the last song on Reasonable Doubt. Okay. So those are the matchups. And looking at the results here, Illmatic far and away came out victorious based on the polls.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So let's break it down. Let's go to that first matchup there.
New York State of Mind versus Can't Knock the Hustle. What do we think?
Mase, talk.
New York State of Mind. I don't mean to be short, but New York State of Mind, maybe the greatest album opener of all time. Like that's pretty easy.
Talk about it.
Genie?
I can't disagree with that. And My State of Mind is pretty much a New York anthem and has been for the last 30 years. So,
not Empire State of Mind?
New York State of Mind.
Oh.
New York State of Mind.
Let's check it.
I don't know if it's an anthem. I'm not even trying to be funny. I wouldn't call that a New York anthem.
Word?
Nah.
I agree. I wouldn't call it that.
It's a lot of other New York songs.
Bro. Whenever New York shit happens, you usually hear either that whole song or you hear Nas New York State of Mind. When it's New York,
way.
I've never heard it.
No way.
I think it's iconic.
Y'all making me diss it right after I fucking complimented it.
Iconic.
I feel like a dickhead.
Iconic, anthemic, not so much.
Okay.
Iconic. When you think about 90s New York, you'll hear that instrumental. It's part of the lore, the soundtrack of the city. But an anthem, there's other songs. Like, no disrespect, Nas fans. Don't start with me right just yet. Like,
Made You Look is more of a...
Yeah.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. Annie Up.
To New York City, though?
Yes. Annie Up, New York by Ja Rule and them. Like, these songs hit more for the city. As far as New York anthems.
In an anthem sort of way.
The joint from the Bronx,
New York State of Mind is the superior song, guys.
Deja Vu?
Yeah.
It's a superior song, but in an anthem type of way. But we done already went off the rails.
Yeah.
Damn sure.
Sin, what's the word?
Oh,
my fault.
I was gonna let Sin close out. Yeah. You know what I mean? I gotta agree with this. I mean, I love Can't Knock. That's one of my favorite songs. It's a hell of an opener. The heart beating, pain in the ass, doing the skit from Scarface and all of that. But if he being 100, it's Can't Knock the Hustle's not touching New York State of Mind. Y'all paying attention? All right.
That's an easy dub.
Not in any way, shape, or form. New York State of Mind, unanimous.
Shouts to Primo.
Yup. Matchup number 2, Life's a Bitch versus Politics as Usual.
What's the vote on that?
Life's a Bitch by
a lot. 77.3.
3/4 of the vote.
What do we think, guys? I'll break the ice.
Come on,
I like
bitch, man.
I like
Fuck
Politics as Usual better as a song than Life's a Bitch.
Okay.
I got Politics.
I agree. I mean, Nas' verse wasn't even that dope on Life's a Bitch. AZ really is the...
Talking about.
AZ is not the highlight of the song?
No, that's not. That's the... You started off saying...
Thank you for
Nas's
taking the heat off
verse,
of me, bro. Appreciate
you started off saying Nas' verse wasn't even
my
all
guy.
that.
It wasn't.
If you say AZ's verse was better, he shined more.
AZ's verse is the song, bro.
All right.
Facts or not, though?
Yeah, that's facts.
And I love Nas, but I can admit
that's facts. But that Nas's verse was not.
It was
all
cool.
That. Wow.
Compared to the AZ verse,
fuck out.
it is what it is, y'all.
You competing, huh?
No, you don't.
You try to get that. You try to get that slander.
There's a difference between saying something is better versus this shit was trash.
I didn't say it was trash.
Nah, I know, but not.
I didn't say it was trash. I'm just saying it's nowhere near as good as the AZ verse. That's the one. That's the one time Nas got smoked on a verse.
I don't even know if
you are
that
stepping into the pit of fire.
I'm gonna have to turn my hat backwards, guys. It's
keeping
getting
it
hot
$1,
already.
I'm keeping it a buck. We discussed this 100
I'm
times.
not saying that you're not keeping it a buck, but you know who we talking to right now.
We got a Panda. Panda. I'm not hitting.
You know we will never do that. You know, it's a she you know what I mean? We're gonna keep it 100. 100
giving it
over
to
here.
Hove.
You know what I'm
106
saying?
Usual was different.
Sin, what you got?
I'm going with Life's a Bitch. Like, I mean, Nas and AZ is just like a classic tag team, you know, Batman and Robin, or maybe not Batman and Robin. Somebody, you know, a team that's more even. Jordan and Pippen, maybe. And then, you know, having Nas's father play the horn on it at the end to like close it out. Like, it's just it's an amazing song, man. It's super like cool, laid back. It's not like a hard hitting joint, but like it's a beautiful song, man.
Who was Pippin on the song?
Jov.
You just said
Guys,
Batman Robin. Who was
listen,
Robin? Who was Pippin?
We not doing that today.
Why?
You already said what you said, Dini. Why are you trying to drag us down with you?
It's a
Who, now
question.
fuck that. You answer your own fucking question.
I think
All right,
AZ
bet.
was the
Look,
Jordan on
all
this.
All right, LeBron and D-Wade.
D
That's
coming in
that's-
hot this episode,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
Diddy
what's
ain't
going
with the
on
shits
on
this
this-
episode.
on
I'm
he
not
dropped
mad-
40 in the last live, and he's coming for the hate this
Keeping it a
episode.
beat.
I'm not mad at the
Shout out
LeBron
to Cole.
D-Wade analogy, but there was no Pippin on Life's a Bitch.
Nigga said Batman Robin. He started with that, bro.
You said that.
No, he said
No,
that.
I said that, but I corrected myself.
Nah, ain't no
Ron
Robin.
Kyrie.
I was trying to find
Nah, Braun and D-Wade.
a more
Ron
Ronnie
even.
D-Wade's more acceptable.
Braun and D-Wade.
more even.
I'm going with Politics as usual, bro. I love that song. Like, bro, like,
Dope song.
like that's for y'all that want to know what fly lifestyle is. That files right under fly lifestyle. If y'all don't get it by now, like what that clown beat that was talking about,
Facts.
street shit, but building a certain kind of ambiance, a little bit of bravado, a little bit of swag, some storytelling for the liars that say Jay-Z don't tell stories. It's all there. I got Politics as usual on that one.
That's the
Yeah,
politics.
Jay-Z don't
He
tell
walked on
stories,
that.
bro.
He
And y'all
walked on
mentioned
that.
DJ Kenny
Oh
Parker.
wow, he don't tell stories.
He don't really tell. I mean, he tell his own story.
He just don't. He just doesn't lie. He tells
not
you.
that. I
He
mean,
tells
it's
you
not-
shit. He tells you hood tales. Those are stories. He got to tell you. I met Walter at the bar. We had a drink,
At Barclays.
and he
Yeah,
came
the
through
details,
wearing
it's
a
all-
mink.
It's on the details, bro.
He spilled his drink in the sink. That's what you want, nigga. Made it stink.
Shit me.
Meet the Parents is an all-time classic.
It's not.
story.
It's not. It's not. We're
Yeah,
not good.
it
We're not
is.
doing that.
It is.
No, we're
It
not
is.
doing that. We're not doing
Definitely.
that. Bro, you put Meet the Parents up against Slick Rick's best stories, Scarface's best stories, Ghostface's best stories, Nas's. I didn't even mention Nas and Big yet.
Yes.
We're not doing that. Nope.
What's the next pick, son?
All right. So what is it at the table? 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
The next one, World Is Yours versus Brooklyn's Finest.
This is tough.
I'm gonna go first on this one. Y'all okay with that?
Good.
I love who I love, you know what I mean? And I get a lot of pushback for what I might say on this podcast about Nas. But the world is yours. There's no argument to be had, bro.
Different.
I'm going with The World Is Yours. That, again, that's one of the songs that formulated my opinions of rap. Before I even understood what the fuck I was listening to, I knew that song was good.
Soundtrack
You know what I
of
mean?
life.
And as I got older, anytime that song comes on, whose world is this? Ooh, I'm
It's
getting
yours.
goosebumps. I'm literally getting goosebumps talking to y'all about this right now. I love that song.
Yeah.
Shouts to Pete Rock.
Game changer.
You know, he was reluctant to do the hook. That's him on the hook. Nas was like, "Yo, you got to do the hook," and Pete Rock was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not singing."
I'm not a rapper.
Yeah. Well, he actually rapped. We're not going down that rabbit hole again. But Pete Rock actually rapped too. But it was a singing hook. So he was like, "Nah, I'm not a singer. I'm not gonna sing." But you got him to do it, and the shit came out beautiful. We know my pick. The
Yeah,
world is
obvious.
yours.
I
Absolutely.
mean,
Absolutely.
it's pretty obvious.
I love Brooklyn's Finest. Like
classic record. Classic
Incredible,
record.
but
Brooklyn's Finest.
World Is
but
Yours is
World Is
iconic.
Yours is a game changer, man. That's a, like I said, soundtrack to the life of my hip hop life, man. Even the way that shit starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, World Is Yours, man. That's and it's hard because I love Brooklyn's Finest, but you know when a record's powerful when it makes you second guess one of your
Yeah.
most favorite records. So The World Is Yours, man.
absolutely.
Mace taking a drink before he answers. I'm ready now.
Brooklyn's
Go
Finest.
against the table.
Okay.
Brooklyn's Finest. I don't have the sentimental connection to The World Is Yours like the rest of my guys. For me, the aura behind Brooklyn's Finest, you know what I mean? Hove and Big meeting each other, you know what I mean? Big meeting Jay and saying he's so nice, let me get on a record. Dame saying we ain't paying them, and Big saying I get on it for free. Hov spitting so crazy with no paper that Big had to go home for a month and write his bars. You know what I mean? The Tupac shots, some of the only that Big has ever taken on record. So that sentimental value for me, I hold it towards Brooklyn Finest. So I'm gonna go with Brooklyn Finest in this one.
So it's a lot of lore to that song.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it a better song.
Jeez.
Your
Next
opinion.
up.
So 2-1.
I thought lore mattered. Now Sin just scoffing at lore.
No, I love lore. But lore doesn't.
Goalposts and
equate.
Nas fans are
Word.
interesting.
Sincere builds goalposts with wheels on them.
Movable.
I've never said lore makes for, better music.
I don't know,
It
man.
does help.
Next up.
We got
Halftime versus Dead Presidents 2.
Come on. You made it a hot line and made it a hot song. I'm going with Dead Prezi, man. Epic record. Maybe top 5 in my all-time Jay-Z records.
I mean, yeah, it's up there. It's hard to argue against that assessment.
I got halftime, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. I got halftime, man.
Spit out my drink.
I like halftime better than Dead Presidents. Of all the classic Jay-Z records, I think Dead Presidents was the one I liked the least. Wow. You know what I mean? So I got halftime, bro.
Wow.
I say the chat is fucking with me.
Hold on.
And
Get rid of this guy.
What you got, Sin?
Nah, I'm gonna go last.
What you got?
Fuck.
talk
All right.
to him.
I wanted it to go to a tiebreaker now that Mase voted for halftime and have Walter come in and play tiebreaker. I can't lie though, man. I can't. Yo, no.
I got Dead Presidents.
No,
you know that.
no, yeah. I can't lie though. It's Dead Presidents.
Right.
Dead Presidents.
Even Dead Prezi won the actual voting on the list, so you know that's real.
Sin copping out. I got a boo.
Yeah. Nas fans, fuck with me.
All right, so what is it? 2 up?
It's 2 up.
Next up.
All right. Ooh. Shit. I'm worried about this one. Memory Lane versus Feeling It.
I got Feeling It. I don't care about y'all or y'all whatever. Feeling It is top 10 whole song ever. Period.
It's all right.
Yeah, okay.
Feeling it? Bro?
Yeah, okay.
Don't do that, Sin.
I got feeling it too.
Feeling it.
I got feeling it.
Bro, over Memory Lane?
Yes.
Shouts to
Y'all-
memory. Shouts to
Great
Memory
record.
Lane.
Tripping.
But feeling it.
Memory Lane is them songs that Nas fans rock with, but once you leave that sphere, it's not revered the same way.
Feel the
I'm
high
lying?
shit
Man,
different
I
alive,
know niggas love to scare the hoes, but feeling it is one of them Jay-Z records. You throw on with a shorty in the front seat, you throw on feeling it, bro. She gonna be
It's go time.
Come on, bro.
Feel the high that you get from the line.
Come on.
Sin.
feeling it, man. I'm feeling it.
3-2. Ovi's
All
hole.
Next up, One Love versus The Evils.
Ovi's taking that.
The Evils, man.
The Evils.
The Evils.
One Love.
The Evils might be my
That's
favorite.
another
Jay
my
song
top 5.
ever, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
the Evils.
He was talking different on
The Evils might
bro.
be the best song on Reasonable Doubt.
Come on.
One Love to me is just
Some great
different.
stories told on that, too.
Even if Jehovah Witness, Betty never
Never
testify.
The Evils.
Bro, the whole third verse on One Love is like
What?
an immaculate, like an all-time great verse. The imagery he laid out, talking to Shorty on the park bench, dusting the blunt ashes off of him, dropping jewels for him, like One
Great
Love,
song.
bro. It's
Great song.
special.
Yeah, man.
One Love
Shouts
is
to
special.
One Love. But when Cormega got out, he said that Nas wasn't really giving him bread like that, bro.
That happened.
Lore.
You know, 2 great
Stories.
songs. Like, I want to make this clear as we are about halfway through this. By picking one song over the other, we're not saying that the other song is whack.
No.
Because the first thing people do when we pick songs, well, yeah, the other song is good too. They're both all-time great songs.
Classics.
But we got to pick one, huh? It's The Evils. I don't even know what's to talk about as far as that. Like, don't get me wrong, the Nas song is great, but the Evils is what it is.
It's different.
There's more Nas songs that could win, but that one ain't winning. If you're an objective rap fan and we just talking about song for song, Don't come in here saying it's 9-0, Bricks, or Jack, whatever your name is. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't lie. Go ahead, Sid.
This is crazy. This is wild, bro.
Oh shit.
I might hand in my resignation.
Nas aficionado.
This is wild.
That's okay.
All right, the next one is One Time for Your Mind versus Can I Live? And that's, I mean, I'll go first. That's
Damn.
going to Can I Live.
Absolutely.
5-2? That's crazy.
Can I live, man?
Can I live?
Yeah. Can I live?
That CBS line is legendary.
For real.
He
Anyone
don't
have
tell.
anything different?
He don't tell stories, but he was painting the pictures of the world he was living. This is a story. Like y'all want fiction. I want autobiographical stories. I'm sorry.
Shouts to Earth Gotti, man.
It's a fact.
That beat
shouts to Earth.
Tough.
crazy.
Shout out to Earth. Y'all not feeling that? Can I live is not? All right. You know, it's cool. I'm talking to the chat.
Oh, okay.
That's 5-2. Gee.
What you guys said? What you pick? So you didn't make a pick, Sid?
I did.
You said
What was the first one?
You said can I live?
said, "Can I
I just
live?"
wanted to make sure I was clear.
Want him to say it again?
Got it.
Yeah. You know,
Hear it loud and clear.
did he? Can I live? Unanimous?
Absolutely.
Is that our first
Absolutely.
unanimous pick?
Absolutely.
I think so. New
Oh,
York
wow.
State of Mind.
Even on the chart, this shit is 67%, bro. Even on the Beatz Round Bliss chart.
What we got next?
The next one is Represent versus Friend or Foe.
Whoa.
Represent.
Represent.
Shorty with a ooh-wop, man.
All right, y'all got me.
There we go.
In good faith, I
God damn.
gotta be real. Represent got it.
Represent is
Dope
crazy.
Represent got it.
You?
Whole QB chanting in the
So
background. Come on.
What's that? 4-3?
5-3.
5-3. Oh shit! So and then it's the last one.
What's the last one?
It ain't hard to tell versus Regrets.
We don't gotta worry about that.
It ain't
hard
hard
to
to tell.
Like,
It's
what are you
forever,
talking
man.
about?
That's my
Absolutely.
favorite song on Illmatic. It ain't hard to tell. Yeah, I love.
Easily, pretty easily. And it was crazy. Like I never really got into Regrets. Like I fucked with the shit that he was saying on it, but I always felt that beat was too soft. And a lot of my homies was telling me, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like Regrets is so real. Like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta feel it." And I'm like, that beat just bores me to tears. Bro.
I'll be honest with you. It ain't hard to tell is a hard beat. But it's not too far away from sounding like an after school special. Like it's fire, but like if the BPM was a little bit faster, it would have been.
Which one?
It ain't hard to tell. Like it sounds like it could
The
be
Mike
like
Jackson sample.
like it could be like a little after school special on channel, like don't do drugs type shit.
That bass line.
Bro, give me a drink.
That
bro.
bass line.
You understand what I'm
Already.
saying?
No, I don't.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to slander the beat. Be clear. What I'm saying is the way it sounds is fire in this moment. But you take, you speed it up a little bit, or you take the wrong instrument out. It should sound like some Channel 7 don't do drug shit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Pour up, Sin. Pour up.
Bro.
He needs it.
Nah, man.
Yo, Sid is
Turn
gonna
that
leave,
over.
man.
Yes, thank
Sid about to leave, bro.
You don't even like the fucking beat. So what are you talking about? You just said you don't like the beat.
I was talking about Regrets.
Oh,
bro.
all right, my fault.
What the fuck?
Regrets is trash.
Regrets is one of the worst songs.
As
on
time
Illmatic.
goes along, Regrets gets, very regretful.
Yeah.
I think that was his attempt to be in like that introspective deep cut,
Yeah. It
His
just ain't
kind of
him, though.
story. Yeah.
It ain't him.
Which was the one where we were the most conflicted? Like, if there was a song we could flip and give it to Nas, we're not giving it to Nas, but I'm just saying, like, is there one? There was one that we was almost split on.
Halftime versus Dead Presidents.
Nah,
I wasn't that. Hell
Nah.
no.
Memory Lane versus Feeling It.
I don't think it was that easy.
One Love versus The Evils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
That one could be. I think that was the one the most evenly matched on the poll as well. 51-49 went to The Evils.
All right,
But I'm going
so
with One Love.
chat, y'all heard the picks. Be mature. Let's not argue. Because as soon as these guys come up in the chat, I'll be reading the comments. So y'all be so busy arguing with each other that y'all don't even hear the conversation. So y'all heard the picks. Make your own picks, but don't do it in the chat. Do it in the comment section, round by round. Give us your picks so that we can, tally it up and see what's what.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't think Hov would win that. I came in fully expecting to lose, but then the way the picks played out and our sensibilities, the fact that we're Avengers, you know what I mean?
Of course, can't forget that.
Basically.
That's a fact. Let's get on to the next topic.
Remember who voted for Nas on almost every song?
Wow.
Remember who voted for halftime?
Wow. Wow. I gotta go into the group chat real quick. I ain't messing with y'all. So, Sincere the Rap Snob had an exchange on Twitter, kind of like stemming. I feel like it stemmed from our episode. I'm not gonna lie. Sincere this guy. He says,
"This is when I missed the old chair."
Yes.
Boy.
Sincere from the Rap Roundtable was capping on that episode. Nobody was talking about Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt in 96 and was not comparing it to the classic It Was Written by Nas. 96 only Nas. Sincere jumps in and says, just say you weren't really tapped into the culture just like that. Those of us that knew what it was. Those of us that were new. Oh, see, I knew I wasn't bugging. That was a typo. Those of us that were there, I'm guessing?
Those of us that were... Oh, no. You just say you weren't tapped into the culture like that. Those of us that were tapped into the culture,
got it,
knew what it was.
Copy. So,
Okay.
Brick Mills responds and says, I was there. I'm 44, bro. Nobody asked. I actually bought Reasonable Doubt when it dropped.
Everybody bought Reasonable when it dropped.
Come on, bro.
Come on. It did not sell
And it
that
was not
much.
the buzz to be talked about. It was more local than anything. It Was Written in caps by Nas was buzzing heavy in the mainstream. So, I find it funny. And Sincere, matter of fact, I'm gonna listen. I don't even want to step on his point. Cook, brother.
Nah, yeah.
Early line.
I'll continue on in your sentiment. I find it funny and a little weird that some people argue to death about how the mainstream and mainstream success doesn't really matter in these debates / conversations / arguments. You know what I mean? When certain artists are pit against certain other artists, let's keep it. I mean, we're talking about Jay-Z and Nas here. Anytime that Jay-Z's mainstream success or impact on the game is brought into the conversation, it's always, but like that shouldn't matter. It's about the music. You know what I mean? Like he has the machine behind him. But then flip the tables, and if It Was Written versus Reasonable Doubt, and clearly It Was Written was Nas' second album, Trackmasters was behind him, the whole machine was behind him. You know what I mean? My point is, and I'm the point here is not even which one was better. You know what I mean? If you leave it to me, you put both of them in front of me and ask me to play one first before the other, I'm going It Was Written.
Okay.
That's me. You know what I mean? But Reasonable Doubt, as we just talked about, like it's incredible album, classic album. You know what I mean? The debate is there. The conversation is there. To say that you can't have the conversation on the merit of the music because Nas had more mainstream success and more mainstream buzz and had the spotlight on him, and Jay-Z was a quote-unquote nobody and nobody knew him, nobody was talking about him. That's incredibly disingenuous. That flies in the face of the entire argument that everybody always wants to make when the tables are turned. So what gives? Y'all need to keep the same energy. You know what I mean? That's my piece.
Danny, what you think, bro?
He said he was 44, so he was there, huh? I mean,
That's what he said.
Huh?
I mean, Jay
Were you there?
was new. I mean, you can't compare the success of someone who, like I said before, like niggas consider like It Was Written Illmatic a magnum opus. You know what I'm saying? So he came off that and then came off the second joint, which a lot of people dug, not as much as the first, but a lot of people dug the second. And Jay was just starting out. Almost nobody gets that kind of acclaim when they just start out. And this is before the social media era. It's before you had the big pushes, you know what I'm saying? And Jay didn't have the backing. Nobody, Priority, was it Priority? That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
He's working with Priority. Couldn't get signed the way, like a Nas got signed. So you have to work and do it from the scratch. But that's not going to take away from what they did, though. You know what I'm saying? You said what?
I wonder why that was.
We just got to take away from the what's the word, revisionist history. We got to stop that.
Mase, talk to me.
Listen, man. I love calling out the contradictions and the inaccuracies of fans when it comes to their artists, because I consider myself super objective.
Love you love.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Fuck outta here.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know,
Right now.
y'all weren't here for the conversation before the pod, so y'all believe that I'm completely objective. But I will say this, you know, Sin is completely right. You know what I mean? Because like when we talk about 94 and you want to tell me Nas is the MVP when Ready to Die was the album doing the numbers, having the big singles, you know what I mean, outdoing it in the same manner that it was written, outdid Reasonable, but you want to tell me that because of the quality of the music, because of what was going on in the city at the time, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, y'all love saying, hey, you know, that shit sold 500,000, but New York was the epicenter of rap at the time. So in the same way that when you look at Atlanta nowadays, look at Young Thug's numbers. Look at a certain, you know, they don't like me to say, look at certain rappers' numbers. They might not be some super DMX, 50 Cent, Tupac shit, but they matter within the city that's dictating the pulse of rap. And that's what was going on in 96, you know what I mean? And 94, when Illmatic was moving shit and he won, you know, or, you know, he lost to Biggie at the Source Awards, but even Biggie was saying he should have been Lyricist of the Year, but that, you know, that's other shit. But, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, even this even comes down to the Grammy conversation, and I mentioned this in the chat, whether it's the Grammy conversation, you know what I mean, whether it's the MSG show, you know what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, Nas was what he was, whether he had the MSG show or not. Icon, you know, one of the greatest ever by any measure, you know what I mean, a superstar in rap, like Job loves to tell you, Nas, you know what I mean, was a superstar in rap, which means he still is, you know what I mean, he's one of the most identifiable rappers ever. So it's just, you know, a lot of people, you know, they like to pretend shit that doesn't matter until their favorite artist achieves it, you know what I mean? You know, we all been there, you know what I mean? Like if Tupac didn't get 2, you know, albums in 1 year, I might be hating on DMX doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit that your favorite artist achieve, you're gonna want to, you know, amplify it because you were technically part of it getting there. So, you know what I mean? Be happy about what your favorite artist does. Rep it, you know what I mean? Champion it. But don't, you know what I mean? Don't act like they the first to do it. And don't act like it doesn't fucking matter when the next guy does it. You feel me?
Objectivity.
Hey,
I'm gonna take it a step
I'm
further.
fake objective, I know.
I don't want peace.
Uh-oh.
I want problems always.
Nah, because it's like the hypocrisy that we all kind of tap dancing around the situation. The reality is, Nas fans spent a lot of years, I want to say 20. When KD1 dropped when? 2020?
2020.
2020.
81 was
So they
2020 or 2018?
KD1 was 2020.
2020. It was like
Pandemic
a
2-3
2-3 year span.
Copy.
So let's say 19 years or so. Telling you that Jay-Z's mainstream, telling you that he's only popular with the casuals, telling you certain things that use his popularity against him. Only to now when certain people are more popular, certain people being Nas, getting magazine covers, MSG shows, doing tours. Now all of a sudden he's in the light, getting interviews on late night talk shows.
Big shows.
You dig? We don't hear nothing. All of a sudden we're celebrating it. Everything Nas is doing, even though Mass Appeal is independent, everything Nas is doing is mainstream shit.
Big dog shit.
He did a rollout, nigga. Call it, believe what the fuck you want to believe. Everything that I just listed was part of his rollout.
Facts.
When Nas was moving units, it was written era, I Am era, Nostradamus era, he was a mainstream artist. The minute he went into the, you know, he had a personal issue with Mom Dukes and everything like that, and he had to fall back.
Rest in peace.
Y'all conjured up this narrative that he was some underground hero. Nas was never underground. You lied. He's not some underground hero. Someone who said it like Nas is not Benny the Butcher. Like y'all keep trying to pretend that he was something. Like, Nas been that nigga. That's me saying that shit. He been that nigga. I knew Nas as a popular rapper. I knew Nas as a mainstream rapper. Y'all pick and choose when to frame mainstream, and because in reality, Nas wasn't quote mainstream for what, a year and a half? Whatever happened after I Am dropped until Stillmatic, about a year and a half. It wasn't that long. In reality, it wasn't that long.
No, you had Nostradamus in between.
No, it was.
Which one? It was I Am
99.
Which one came first?
I Am
Nostradamus 99.
I thought they was both the same year.
They were.
Yeah,
it was a 99 for Nostradamus.
Both 99.
Oh, I thought that was 98.
So Stillmatic dropped late 01, yes?
Yes,
yeah,
November
01.
So 2
December,
years.
yeah.
2 years. That was the only period where you could say he might have been out of the public's eye. He was a mainstream act before that. You niggas made this whole narrative up. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden when Jay-Z fans get hyped, it's mainstream, it's mainstream.
Always.
Sin says, and it's ironic. The irony is this. Sin said that niggas was talking about Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, and Illmatic. And all of a sudden now, the Nas fan sounds like a Jay-Z fan. Jay-Z wasn't nobody. Wasn't nobody talking about Jay-Z in 96. What the fuck? When did this happen?
That's
so you're
crazy.
saying Nas was mainstream. That's how I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know, y'all. I'm bugging.
Nah, you're not.
Nah, you're not. That's the whole point. Yeah. I just
Got him.
All I ever want is for people to keep the same energy, regardless.
That's it.
Regardless of sensibilities, regardless of my alliances, allegiances. You know what I mean? Regardless of my fandom, just keep the same energy. Be fair. Try to have some self-reflection. Some what's the word I'm looking for? Some
Introspection.
no.
Objectivity.
Awareness.
Self-awareness.
Ding.
Where's
Try
it
to
at?
have some self-awareness when you go into these conversations and into these debates, right? Try to think for a second, like, before you say some shit, try to think like, oh shit, did I say the opposite when like the tables were turned, like maybe like a week ago or a few days ago or whatever? Like, just look inward a little bit before you jump out the window with these statements, man, because like it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all.
They were calling this nigga the golden child in 94, bro. And he has arguably the most critically acclaimed hip-hop album of all time. Arguably. How the fuck is that not mainstream?
Ask them. Don't ask me. I don't know. Now this drink though, I don't know if this was a good idea. I'm not gonna lie.
I couldn't think of self-awareness.
It's feeling
just
like a good
second
idea.
ago, bro.
Pause.
Like,
Hey.
this shit hit.
You know what I mean? Benny the Butcher went on the Math Hoffa podcast. Shout out to Math. Providing content yet again. He kind of, did y'all guys get to watch the video? No pressure or nothing like that.
Yeah. The Math Hoffa joint.
Yeah.
So he mentioned his Def Jam situation. We've been questioning this Def Jam
For a
deal
while.
at the Roundtable for a little minute now. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Benny watched this, so I was like, oh, y'all niggas think I don't got the deal? I bet. So he mentioned something that kind of caught me by surprise, that he got like a licensing deal and it's a 1 album deal. Did y'all hear that? So my question would be for the table, for the chat, even y'all can talk about it amongst yourselves. Short-term deal at Interscope. Kind of short-term deal at Empire. Because I don't know what the Empire situation is for Griselda at the moment. Benny gets a short-term deal at Def Jam. Is Griselda kind of being disrespected with these deals? Do labels not feel like they're worth the long-term investment? Or am I looking at this wrong?
I mean, you could look at it that way, but what if he's playing the LeBron game? What if he's playing, I just take the 1 year so I can do what I want, and if the shit don't work out for me, I can kind of bounce
But
out.
when do labels ever give artists what they want? I'm befuddled by this.
That is true.
Well, I mean, he did talk about how he had a conversation with Snoop. You know what I mean? And Snoop is, the head of Def Jam? Is he?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So high up, right? Maybe he just chopped it up with the OG and was like, yo, look, like, I just want to see if this is the right home for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be tied down for too long. If I feel like it's not, I need, some freedom. I need, you know what I mean? And maybe the OG Snoop Dogg was like, yeah, I got you. Like, we can sign you to a little one project deal and see how you feel about it. And if you're not, because he was also talking about how he had a meeting with what was it? Was it Arista?
It was a few.
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
And he was just like, yo, like I'm not feeling this shit.
Yeah.
It sounds like he wants a home where he feels he's a focal point or he's a priority. And if you have names like Bruno Mars and Cardi B, like he might not feel like a priority in those situations. Maybe Def Jam with the Def Jam situation, he might feel like he might get a little bit more attention and be able to, pull up on Snoop and speak to Snoop if he feels some type of way or if he needs to, have some conversations. And that's how I take it. I feel like he's trying to fill out where the right home is for him.
Plus, Def Jam is iconic.
And it's iconic.
If you want to be a rapper, Def Jam was the place. It's like the Lakers of rap, So
yeah. And he spoke a lot about like how he a lot of shit that we've been saying at the Roundtable. You know what I mean? That the Bars is back in the spotlight a little bit.
Can I add a new moniker for the Rap Roundtable? Most Tapped In podcast.
Tapped in.
So I believe so.
Word. You know what I mean? Bars is getting a little bit more in the spotlight. And he spoke about the underground space and how like there's a lot of wordsmiths, there's a lot of great artists, there's a lot of brilliance in the underground space that may not be getting those looks, and he wants to put that space on his back with this Def Jam deal and say, hey, look, y'all, I'm doing this for the culture, I'm doing it for the genre, like I'm doing it for this space, like come with me, it can happen, you know what I mean? And we're gonna see come August, right? I got full faith.
Everybody can't go
in Benny. Benny living up to the expectations.
As far as I know about what I know about record deals and voice in the industry, y'all fuck with me. This is exactly what every artist wants. One album deal.
Yes, sir.
We all know the entry level record deal is a 5-6 album deal. Big on the advance, low on the album points. So if I'm looking on the outside in and speculating, I'm thinking that Benny probably took a less advance from an artist from his stature wanted. You know what I mean? Maybe not one of those $10 million crazy advances that the Lils be getting. You know what I mean? But probably went low on the advance, high on the album points. You know what I mean? Good promotion, not a 360. You know what I mean? So I think this is a big W for Benny. He's an independent artist. He's basically cashing out using these guys for their marketing dollars, their notoriety, and is basically going to work out for him in the end. Because at the end of the day, Benny dropping the album on Def Jam is something we've spoken about for months. You know what I mean? So it's a good look for him. You know what I mean? The Snoop Dogg signing Benny, that always looks great. And I believe that, as far as what I know about deals, you know what I mean? This is exactly what a artist works for. You know what I mean? Gain some clout yourself, gain some notoriety yourself, and come to the record label and tell them what you want. You know what I mean? So salute to Benny, man. I think it's a good move for him.
And the best part, before you jump in, if it all don't work out, nigga free to go right after the album drop.
I'm saying.
Can't lose.
He was talking in that interview, and another reason why I want to say we're the most tapped in is in a separate segment, Math Hoffa talked about, asking Benny why he don't make music for the women. And I felt like 2 episodes ago, we talked about that at the Rap Roundtable.
Scaring the hoes.
They need to make music for the girls. We need an R&B hook. We had the legendary Scaring the Hoes segment.
Legendary.
Math even took it a step further. Remember what I said? Remember the running joke when we go to these shows? If we see a fly honey, she's usually with a dude. Math said the same shit. Math was like, don't you want to go to these shows and look around and see more than the numbers of women that you see there? And when you do see them, she's comfortable with some dude who's not trying to get her ass grabbed by some wolf in the spot. And I'm like, yo, we talked about this same shit. And I'm not saying that Math bit, but what I'm saying is it just goes to show that our point of view of the culture is the point of view you need to pay attention to. Because niggas who's actually in the shit is saying the same shit that we said.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean?
Happens often.
Yeah, talk really shit. Talk about it. You know what I mean?
Honestly.
Most tapped in. I'm adding that for the next episode.
I like that.
So, for me, he didn't take the Atlantic deal. Like, Sin's point of view is a little different than mine. When he talked about the Atlantic deal, I looked at it like he thought that it was too commercial for him. based on the names that they had. Like I think Judy Greenwald and Craig Calvin was in the meeting. In the names, they were throwing Cardi, Bruno, and a few other names that were very notable, Kodak, and all of that. And I felt like Benny looked at it. It's like, this is not what I need as Benny the Butcher, Griselda, BSF situation. I think he went to Def Jam because they're not a pop label at all. They're a rap label through and through. And there is a lot of lore and legacy to that. And if you got a licensing deal, it makes me wonder, are your BSF situations going to go through Def Jam in the future? Is this a trial run to see if they're going to invest? The pessimist in me, however, is like, I'm looking at this as a dice roll from these labels. They don't look at Benny as a long-term investment. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Benny wants a short-term deal. I'm talking out my ass. But for me, it's like most labels want to lock you in. D-Need to Balance is the hottest thing on the street. Roundtable Records, hottest underground movement. Merch moving, units moving for our underground act. I need about 4 of them albums. I'm only assigning you to one album. I'm Def Jam. I feel like Def Jam is looking at Benny as a dice roll, as a gamble. I don't think that they value him as a commodity. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm looking at this sideways. I feel like Shady didn't value Griselda, and Griselda got the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Empire is the only label I feel like that really showed Griselda a lot of respect. Benny he talked about it on the interview, he gave Westside and Griselda 4 albums, which means that Empire was like, you know what, we want these guys, they can make us some money. But these big time Interscope, Def Jam, these short-term agreements, is it just for the look? Is the label just trying to say, hey, we're plugged in? I don't know. I'm skeptical.
A lot of things, man. I use the LeBron analogy because LeBron's always free. Like, if we don't work out this year with these niggas, I'll go somewhere else and play somewhere else. And maybe you're right. Maybe it is a roll of the dice, but maybe that's his roll of the dice too, where he's like, I didn't want to go to Atlanta because I didn't feel like they would back me and represent me the right way. And I think Def Jam will. But if they don't, I only got to give them one project.
But where do you go after Def Jam?
If the project is fire and the relationship builds, nigga, I take more deals. I take more years, I take more albums. But until we get that situated, especially since Benny been in so many in and out situations, if I'm him, I'm going into everything with a 1-2 year deal. Just in case shit don't work. And niggas ain't 20 no more. I need shit to work. And if it don't work, I gotta go where it works.
Also, I don't think labels care that much about the perception of being into a particular scene. You know what I mean? Maybe certain media heads do.
You don't think Def Jam might? Def Jam?
Just
Shady?
For what? I mean in terms of the perception of like, oh, we're still down with the underground or the true
Right, I see what you're
spirit of the culture. Like Def Jam,
They're not looking for clout points.
Right, they have their legacy. Like why would they care about getting those clout points? I don't see that.
I don't know. I'm skeptical. I look at it as a lack of respect, a lack of trust, a lack of willing to invest. Everybody else is getting these big numbers thrown at them, but Griselda's getting a maybe.
I guess that would be for Betty to answer. Was that deal forced upon him, or
Fair.
was that deal?
Or did he want that to have that flexibility? You're right, Dini. I can't be mad at that. Now the next question is, in that interview, it kind of sounded to me like Benny's no longer Griselda. Like Griselda is family, but Griselda Records. I don't think Benny's Def Jam debut was Griselda Def Jam.
It don't sound like it.
It seemed like it might be BSF Def Jam. Or should we be concerned about Benny's Griselda future?
No, it's family. Go ahead, Mase.
Nah, like everybody on the show like to make fun of the fact that I'm like the least Griselda guy, but I am tapped in. And at ultimately, this is if you want to look back 10 years ago, this is the same vibe that happened with Dipset. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You look at Benny's interviews, just like you say, Jov, he don't sound too Griselda. Listen to Conway straight up tell you in interviews, I'm not Griselda anymore. You know what I mean? That was a whole big controversy that Conway had to go back and answer for, talking about we still brothers and we still this and we still that. So yeah, like Benny's repping BSF. He got Heem's album on his timeline. So, when it comes to their family at the end of the day, so it's not like niggas is outside looking for each other. But on a business tip, Yeah, absolutely. I don't believe that Benny is tied to Griselda other than on song at this point, and the same with Conway.
So is Griselda more Wu-Tang movement now as opposed to a label?
They've moved on to the next generation.
The door opener.
That's the point I was gonna make. I mean, before Dip said it was Wu-Tang. That was the collective, and the whole way that they moved was, and how RZA, constructed the deals was so that they could, come out as a collective, but then everybody had the freedom to go and do their own thing and find their right home with their own labels. And after that, different, Raekwon had what was the name of his clique? I can't remember the name of his clique right now. So but different members had their own cliques that they was trying to put onto the game and have them.
Who Gambinos? Am I thinking?
No. All American Cream Team, I think it was.
Right.
It just came to me. But yeah, I mean that ultimately that's the goal with these types of situations. You know what I mean? Like we as fans. And I've been there. I've grown a little older, so I know what it is. I see what it is. But as fans, especially like young fans, you grow up and you think that these are that it really is like a family, like, and that they're always together, and that they always like agree with each other, and that they're always like building on how they can continue in their path all together as one unit, and that they're it's always individuals, and it's always there's gonna be heads bumping and heads butting and disagreements, and I want to go this way and I want to go that way, and you know what I mean. The goal is to come in with a team, make your stamp, make yourself be known, and then you branch out from there, and everybody gets to be their own individuals and really create their own destiny on their own. You know what I mean?
I'm not mad at that breakdown. I'd like to see what, being that 2023 has been kind of slow as far as music goes for the acts that we love to talk about. Not there's people putting out fire music, but like the people that y'all love to listen to, the people we love to talk about, it's been slow. I'd like to see where Griselda goes. Is Conway and Benny going to be featured on West's next album like usual?
Pretty sure.
Is there ever going to be a second Griselda album? What Machine Gun Do was the first official release. Will we ever get a second one? And if we do, what does it sound like?
I mean, look, I'm looking right now at Conway's next project that's coming out. It's supposed to come out a week from today. Excuse me. He's definitely working a lot with Jay Skis, who's his artist. You know what I mean?
Drum work.
He got Sauce Walker and Juicy J as features. I did see that Westside Gun was featured on something, but now I don't see it there anymore. So I don't know what's going on with that. Benny's nowhere to be seen on this track list, so you know what I mean? Like,
I thought it was a good thing that Heem's new album from BSF does have Conway. So I was looking for the same shit you was looking for, saying like what the features is that, who fucking with who, but Benny's artist Conway is on there, so I hope that's good.
It's funny because I remember doing that with Rockefeller. That's how I kind of knew Dipset was kind of funny as far as like their relationship, because I used to look to see like is Cam featured on the song, is Jay or is Bleak or Jewels or somebody on somebody's song. So that's a good way to know what the connections are as far as what the crew love looks like. You know what I mean? The features.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. Like, was Griselda a mirage? Was it all just a vehicle to get niggas on? Which I'm not mad at.
Yeah,
but
you know what I'm saying? The big truck that drove everybody in for them to go everywhere else.
Again, let's keep it a buck. That's what Wu-Tang was. That was the entire, like, it just, we mythologize it, you know what I mean? And we romanticize it because of
how great it was.
Quality of music and the feeling that we got from that movement, from that run between 93 and 97, and beyond for some of them. But like Wu-Tang, if you watch the Wu-Tang series, like they it doesn't hide. They don't hide the fact that like this was the plan the whole time. We come in as a unit, and then we all branch out and do our own things. RZA said, give me 5 years of your life. After 5 years, you can do what the fuck you want to do. That's what it is. And the Griselda thing. What are we? 2023? I want to say like been a good at least 5 years, right?
A little more than that.
Sin, can I counter that for a second?
What's up?
You mentioned Wu. I mentioned Dipset. Can we lament the fact that like a lot of them niggas hate RZA now, and like Jim and Cam like can't even be in the same room, and like, so I hope this ain't the way that Griselda is going, because we saying it was the plan for both these people, but they don't fuck with each other in modern times.
Yeah.
So I hope that ain't the case.
I mean, but it's just you can't. It's the story of
You
life.
guys talk about RZA, man.
Yeah,
say,
I mean,
make my beats pussy. Isn't that a famous phrase?
Yo.
yeah, man. I mean,
that's what you guys said, man.
the motherfuckers have egos. They have strong personalities. You can't, like,
That's crazy.
Yo.
And that's what I'm
That's what he
saying.
said.
Like people grow up thinking that like everybody fits like puzzle pieces. Like no, man. Like the fact that these collectives make it work for as long as they made it work, that's the fucking miracle.
And the fact they're still doing tours, so they come together when they need to.
Yeah, when there's a check
they
involved,
came together for the Armani show at SOB, so I
Facts.
guess, you know what I mean? Like a check. Yeah.
They need to. It'll happen.
All right, fellas, y'all selling me. I'm concerned, but y'all selling me.
And then they just do, what's that big show that comes around every is it Coachella?
Yeah.
They did something. They did something.
Didn't they each have separate sets?
Nah, they was out together, bro. Westside brought out that's what he brought out Rome, Benny. He brought out Conway. He brought out the team.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
I don't know. I'm skeptical.
But look, if it does go south for them, just be happy that they had the run that they had together.
They're related, though.
And
What does that mean?
What, they're related?
Family got to work some now.
No, they don't.
Shout out to
watch
Takeover.
That might make it worse.
Shout out to Quavo and
That might make it
Offset.
worse. Yo, I remember when I was babysitting your ass. Now, now you think you a boy.
It was ugly.
It don't matter,
like
man.
that.
Don't matter.
Uncle Ice.
Rest in peace, Donnell Porter.
So Swizz Beatz,
Yeah.
recently, Hip Hop 50. My allergies are beating my ass now. Hip Hop 50 dropped, and there was a lot of hype, a lot of pomp and circumstance surrounding a potential Jay-Z, Wayne, produced by Swizz Beatz situation. We get the album, and Mase was 100% spot on when he said that I don't think Hov is going to be on the album. It's just going to be a Hov sample. But we go on Swizz Beatz' page, and he promoted it as Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Swizz Beatz.
Yeah.
That was a lie. It was inaccurate. You know what I mean? So now he goes on the internet and he's talking about the situation as far as what happened and why it might have been the way it was. And he made it worse.
Damn sure did.
So on Hip Hop DX, he says he had that freestyle in my files as J vocals. So you didn't have a J verse on that joint? Elliot Wilson asked. Were you just playing us? Because everybody got excited. We did too. Jack did too. You know what I mean? You know how the internet is. Swizz Beatz says, shit, I got excited too. Adding that.
Bro, what does that even pause. Time out. What does that even mean? It's your song. How do you get excited when you know what's going on and you're pulling the strings on this fucking puppet show, but you got excited too? How?
Confusion is
Hold on.
I was excited to swindle you niggas.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Oh,
the fuck
man.
are you talking about?
He did bad.
He says, shit, I got excited too, adding that fans should be happy that it was at least the real Hov and not AI generated vocals regardless of how old the sample was. That's him. So I'm like, why can't we say it's him? It's him on the song, he said in defense. Wow.
That's terrible.
Wow. Like, I didn't want to read the article. I wanted to get the quote from Swizz Beatz. I thought he was going to give a better response, maybe walk it back. But Swizz, hold on. And I can't believe that I got to do this, but.
Like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? And why do we fucking keep acting like he's somebody
I can't believe
that
I had
we
to
need to
do
fuck
Swizz.
with?
That's
Get
Swizzy.
rid of this guy.
That's Swizzy.
You literally clout chased with vocals of a beat that you made, like beats you made back in 06 with Jay-Z vocals on.
Right.
I can't believe this motherfucker.
Swizz is different for this, man.
You wanted a stream. You lied to us for a stream. For a stream. What the fuck?
And the song was trash.
Yo.
Also, may I add, we're not about to do this. We're not about to set the bar this low as to say, well, at least it wasn't AI generated vocals. That's not what we're about to do in the culture, bro.
Here, nigga, damn.
At all.
It's too soon for that argument anyway.
Get the fuck out of here,
like,
bro. But like you said, like, you know, like if he would have walked it back a little bit, like if he would have like owned up to it and be like, you know, like what I would have loved for Elliot to be like, nah, that was kind of whack, and Swizz be like,
you can't say that, son.
No, I understand. But like, you know, just allude to it. Like, you know what I mean? He kind of did. He was
said you
like,
played us.
So you were just playing us?
Yeah.
The
You know what I
Rap
mean?
Roundtable.
And I would have loved for Swizz to be like, you know, in retrospect, have a little self-awareness, self-reflection.
Swizz?
And be like, no, you know what? You're right. That was kind of whack. My bad, y'all. Like, I didn't mean to lead y'all on. But this motherfucker doubled down, brought in AI, artificial intelligence into the whole conversation.
He did niggas a favor.
What about
Right,
it?
and made us feel like we should be happy that he even has
You heard him on it.
a 2-second fucking vocal sample from a freestyle in a concert that you have in your hard drive. Like, maybe you want to be happy about that. When you promote it as an actual feature, we're not going to be happy about this. You're not going to, you know, pull the wool over our eyes like that. Fuck out of here, bro.
It was just disgusting on so many levels because you know this is an artist that the world wants to hear music from. Everybody's waiting, especially after he dropped the God Did joint. Everybody's waiting new music from Hove. So you know people tapped in because they specifically wanted to hear that new Hove. You cheated us, brother. That's like me taking a sample in a Swizz, hey, and then making a song and say featuring Swizz Beatz. That nigga would be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? He wouldn't respect it, so why the fuck do we have to respect this? Fuck out of here, Swizz. This is bad, bro. Bad.
And the thing is, he probably feels like, oh, well, I actually have like a real relationship with Jay-Z, and I actually have these, you know, vocals. First of all,
We
like,
don't care.
it's not that he gave you these vocals. You sampled these vocals from the concert, so it's not like he gave you these vocals for you to be like, yo, this is featuring Hove.
And that was the problem, right? The pompousness and the arrogance in this interview, right? That's what pissed me off even more, because you know you swindled us. You know you got us. You know what I mean? And Swizz know he fucking dirty for this. Listen, I don't want to keep harping. You already know I flamed him and Wayne for doing that Can't Nobody shit featuring DMX.
Nasty.
They scammed us just like Lil Wayne scammed us into thinking he was gonna have a new album. You know what I mean? So fuck both of them. Really, fuck both of y'all. You know what I mean? Like we just spoke about Reasonable Doubt, right? Like imagine I'm scrolling, like it's a new artist, Jay-Z, this nigga independent, bro. We got Primo on the beat. What's that? Track 6? The Evils featuring Snoop Dogg and Prodigy? I gotta hear this shit, bro. I gotta listen to this shit, man. See, this the type of bullshit you was doing, Swizz. So I don't want to hear none of that shit you talking, my nigga. You fucked up. The song wasn't even good either. That's what you really fucked up. So fuck out of here, Swizz.
John pulled up the receipts on the last joint. This was fully endorsed, bro. This wasn't like by mistake.
Bro, Dead Presidents featuring Nas.
Well, listen, man.
It's
Listen.
just Nas vocals. It's just Nas vocals from a sample. Come on, bro.
It counts, right?
The
If this
nigga
Jay
wouldn't have
counts,
made
it
it past his first album, bro.
Dead
This is
Presidents
nasty.
3,
He'd
the
have been
real
a
Dead
Marcy.
Presidents 3 with a Nas sample featuring Nas. That's not featuring Nas.
Nasty, man.
Getting
So-
excited, man. Fuck you, Swizz.
This is bad.
Going back to Instagram, just to bring it full circle, again, we checked. Swizz Beatz posted on his gram, Swizz Beatz cross Wayne cross Hove. He promoted it as a Hove song. He says that it's not an AI generated vocals, it's actually him. But then when you go to the album credits, this is not a paid feature. It's featuring Lil Wayne. So you lied, my nigga. You're a liar. You're a liar. Khaled voice. You know what I mean? You're a liar. You know what I mean? You did this for the rollout. You lied to the public. Nigga, this is so fucking tacky. Considering how they handle verses, and then they sold it. Swizz, I can't believe I've lived long enough to say that one of the most legendary producers in rap history is susceptible to be tacky for the clout. And not that and Swizz don't even need the clout. It's Swizz fucking Beatz.
Shit's disgusting.
You already
What are you-
solidified, brother.
Bro,
Didn't have to do this.
I felt like he tried to take advantage of the fact that there's an internet market that loves Esco and Jay-Z. So if you already have an Esco song, now you can say you have a Jay-Z verse. My Hip Hop 50 Volume 2 is gonna run up. You lied. This is what it's a yellow journalism. Like you made this up. This is propaganda. Swizz. And then you, man, fuck out.
This really
Fuck
that
you.
It
Fox
was
shit,
bad.
bro.
This is really bad.
Bullshit.
This was the swindle of swindles.
And then dropped a whack song.
And then it was Dookie.
Like, come on. Wow.
Dookie.
We need that drop.
Yo, feelings will be hurt over that job. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yo, so Quando Harlow dropped a new album.
Quando.
You know, he took his shirt off, dropped the album cover. You know, shit was whack. You know what I mean? Since it a rap snap. Quando is back.
Back.
What are your thoughts on this new album?
Y'all
Jack Harlow, for those who don't
Jack
get the
Harlow.
joke.
Jack
It's
Harlow.
an inside joke if y'all knew and y'all not
Throwing up
privy
them
to it.
fours.
Y'all not gonna believe this though. I'm not mad at the album. I'm not mad at the project. I came into this project fully expecting to slander it and call it trash, just like the trash cans that's in the cover picture. But you know what I mean? Like clearly he's hearing the chatter out there that you know what I mean? He lacks substance. He lacks, you know, a certain, you know, dynamic, a certain characteristic, right? And so he came back on the personal tip. You know what I mean? People are calling it his 444 or his I don't know, they called it something else. His I think it was a Kendrick. But anyway. It's we're not gonna go that far. I've seen some people on Twitter be like, you know, Jack Harlow might have dropped like the project of the year. It's project of the year contender. We not jumping out the window like that. Y'all gotta chill the fuck out there, right? But the production had some decent to good production, soulful production. He definitely got his introspection on and so his, you know, self-reflection on. You know, we got into some, you know, more personal stories about the people that he came up with and stuff like that. And maybe it's a low bar, but it didn't come off as cringy. And I fully expected to cringe at the idea of Jack Harlow getting, you know, personal and introspective, but I didn't. I'm not gonna say I loved it. I might not spin it that many more times. You know what I mean? But it wasn't trash. And, you know, that might be a win for the way that I feel about, you know, Jack Harlow. I was about to call him Quando. The way I feel about Jack Harlow, that might be a win. So, you know what I mean? The one thing I will say, somebody on your team, one of those friends in your circle, should have told you to keep track 8 the fuck off of this project. Because that song,
You Can't Be, is that one?
bro, like, it really gave me a lot of All Lives Matter, reverse racism type of vibes. The one where he's talking about like, oh, you know, it can't be the swagger, it can't be the skills, it must be the skin. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Like, just understand that, you know, being white,
burden.
sorry, Walter, that
Love you,
being
Walt.
white and coming into the game gives you a leg up with white America. It is what it is. Just own up to it. Somebody on your team should have told you that this is not the move.
And be
bro.
clear, that's okay if you got the advantage. You still
Right.
have to be good enough to take advantage of it.
Right.
Right.
But to, you know, lash back against it and be like, you know, like what are you trying to say? That it has no bearing on it? That it has no effect on how successful you are? Fuck out of here for that track. But the rest of it was I'm not overly mad at it.
Mase.
A lot of thoughts from the Quando Harlow album from Sin. Dr. Umar voice. I want to shout to Harlow. You know what I mean? I slick individual. He's definitely read the Eminem handbook. You know what I mean? First couple songs, he's overtly mentioning his white privilege and how it helps him within the rap game, circa Eminem, white America. He's going Eminem and Slim Shady LP. He's dissing all the other white rappers. I'm the best white rapper. You know what I mean? That's Eminem shit, y'all. Very, very slick of him. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry. If y'all remember, I don't think Sin was here for this, but if y'all remember the Lil Baby album, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
What I said was that whenever new rappers want to get taken serious, they throw a bunch of soul samples on. I said that, and guys, look, it worked. It worked. You know what I mean? Whenever you want the real hip hop fans to fuck with you, I'm gonna throw some soul samples in this motherfucker.
Now I didn't want to make this
You got swayed,
slanderous. No, I didn't want to make this slanderous, but also within my note, I just want to not hate for once, but since you pointed it out, at first, the soul samples, I was like, all right, I'm fucking with this a little bit, but it did start feeling repetitive and kind of like a shtick at some point, and by the end of it, it started feeling like it was dragging, which is quite a feat for an album that's only 10 songs and 24 minutes long. Like, it's a super short listen, but if it still feels like it's dragging by the end, that's an issue.
So this was that. That's basically what I felt, that this was the Jack Harlow, I'm sorry, my last album was so whack album. You know what I'm saying? Like soul samples, admitting white privilege, telling white people to stop acting, so gangster. You don't know about the life. You know what I mean? I had a mixtape feel. You know what I mean? He's better. You know what I mean? Which if you rapping all day, you should get better at rapping. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But ultimately, it's not enough. Honestly, Harlow, you still not out the fucking doghouse, bro. It wasn't it. It was better than your last shit, but your last shit was all time bad. You feel what I'm saying? So, nothing that I'm ever gonna go back to again, and nothing that's gonna make him more popular.
Waiting on you.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Y'all both right. To be honest, I really try. I went this the way y'all did. I tried to appreciate it. But I ain't gonna lie, man, the bargain bin Drake and Eminem vibes was taking me out, bro. I couldn't lock in the way I wanted to.
That feels racist.
It was irking the fuck out of me. I ain't gonna lie, man. I respect the interest. If you read my shit, I got a bunch of words you use, bro. I respect the introspection. The production was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was cool.
There was some bars. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple songs I dug.
It was
some bars. Some.
That's a Deaniism right
Yo,
there, bro.
It wasn't even. It has some joints. Just some
bars.
bars.
The only joint I really thought was the shit that's called Is That I? That's the only joint I really thought was cool.
Man.
Everything else was very repetitive, and I kind of felt like he got in the studio thinking he must have listened to an episode of Rap Roundtable and must have said, I'm gonna prove these guys wrong. And he jumped in and he gave us this, and this shit is all time mid. Is it better than what he did last time?
Yo.
Yes, but that's not a hard accomplishment.
Roundtable.
I tried, bro. I wouldn't even have gave it a listen if not for this shit. But y'all convinced me I did, and I really don't care.
I'm gonna come clean. The only reason I even tried to listen to this shit was because of Sin. He was like, "Yo, we gotta talk about this shit."
Talk
bro.
about it.
You know what I mean?
Look.
You know what I mean? And
Sin,
then
you don't have to hold the L, Sin. Don't back. Why? Don't back away now. Press the Y, John.
We're not doing
But no Sin.
I did not say we have to listen to this. I said it's 24 minutes.
Matter of fact,
we can fit it into our day if we want to talk about it.
Let's take this behind the curtain right now. When Sin suggests that we should listen to something, it's because we need to listen to it. He just doesn't want to tell us what to do. That's what went on there.
You think I was excited to listen to this Jack Harlow album?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Big Harlow.
Go away.
The OVO team lost Sin. He's Team Harlow now?
Go away.
Team
That's
Wando?
a big loss.
Wow.
Sin Harlow.
That's
Wando.
crazy. Wow.
Wow, bro. That's
What are we
crazy.
doing? Man.
I'm gonna throw up the screenshot of the group chat. I said
You asked.
It's gonna make you look bad,
we might as
Sid.
well.
I know
It's
me and
10
Joe.
songs.
Me and Joe. You said no. I know. I said
didn't
no.
say nothing
All I
during
know
the whole
is that-
Wando conversation.
Minutes.
All I know is the person who suggested listening to it is this guy.
I'll let y'all figure it out, man.
Was that before or after you listened to it?
What do you mean? I didn't listen to it till the train right over here. What'd you think? I was up at midnight?
Yeah, you rocked it. You think this shit was
I
fire?
was up at midnight.
You said it was fire in the review.
I said that.
You
That's
said
what I
it was fire.
said.
What
I
you
said
think about
fire.
the album though, Job? You're not letting us know what's going on.
Yo, This shit felt like a fucking. You know how you go to one of them expensive restaurants, but you don't want to spend bread?
Bro, hold on. I'm sorry. Because Dini wants to
Yo,
come
we-
over here trying to pull
We
receipts.
joking.
Right? Oh, man.
Real
Come
quick.
on now.
It's
quick.
only 10
phone
tracks.
away.
Do we want to touch on? Do we want to touch on on Quando's album? We call him Quando in the group chat. Job said hell no,
With my exclamation.
but right. But at the same time that he said hell no, I was already typing. It's only 10 tracks, 24-minute runtime, and then he said, "Well, maybe." That's how it went down. Since Dini wants to try to pull receipts.
If it says it's only, that means you kind of trying to convince us.
Job, how you feeling about it though?
This nigga Dini really went to the group chat.
Mid-episode, bro.
Receipts.
We post screenshots. So, you know how you go to an expensive restaurant but you don't got bread? And so when you don't have the bread, what you get at the expensive restaurant? You get the tasting menu, right? You get the small portions. You know what I mean? So like usually if you get a full plate, you might just spend like $300-$400. You know what I mean? But the tasting menu is about $200. You know, that's what you came to spend. You know what I mean? I had $200 in my pocket. I can afford it. So to me, the Jack Harlow album is a tasting menu. 10 tracks, 24 songs. You know, but on a tasting menu,
minutes.
yeah, 24 minutes. You're right. I'm a little drunk. I put the cup away. I still got drink in here, but I'm not touching it.
I'm on the same time.
I'm done.
And with a tasting menu,
Done.
some things kind of slap. Some things I'll never have it again. And to me, Jack Harlow's album is a tasting menu. Some things slap. Some things I'll never want again. But overall, I'm not coming back to this restaurant. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't enough slaps in the tasting menu for me to want to have a full plate of food.
What did you enjoy from the menu?
Nothing.
Wait, you said something's sort of slap.
I'm just saying, on a tasting menu,
copy.
something slap. Like the best way I could describe it is a tasting menu. You got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, this is cool. You know what I mean?
Cool.
But
Okay.
I came in, and you know what? And I'll be honest, I came in not giving a fuck about this album.
Indeed.
And I listened to it as a person who didn't give a fuck. And maybe I didn't give it a fair shake. And it's not that I don't like white rappers. Don't start that narrative.
Sorry, Walter.
I love white rappers when they're good. But to me, Jack Harlow is a tryhard in the Drake mold. And then he tried to con us with the soul samples. You're not good enough, Jack. And that's the reality. Nobody here said it. So I'll say it. You're not good enough to rap over soul sample beats to try to make us take you seriously. Just keep making the bullshit dad rap. So didn't you say he had dad joke raps? Or wasn't that your boss?
Sin said
What?
that in the
Didn't you say
review.
Jack Harlow had dad joke bars?
Yeah.
Stick to
Sin
that
said
shit. Keep the soul samples for the nice niggas. See, I don't want to say it, I'll say it. Keep the soul samples for the nice niggas. Let me hear them dad joke raps. See what Megan Thee Stallion's doing. Get a little photo out for her. What was his name from Oakland? The white dude from Oakland?
Travis Kelce.
No, the white rapper from Oakland who's laid up on her a couple years ago.
Oh,
G-Eazy.
Easy.
Oh, he's from Oakland?
Find out what the fuck Meg is doing. Get the photo op, or find some starlet. What's that shorty from the show on HBO with the high schoolers all on drugs, little blonde joint with the nice
Zendaya?
thighs? No, the blonde joint.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Never
You know what I mean?
mind.
Find out what she's doing. Get spotted with her on TMZ. Get your Q rating up. Keep this fucking album. We don't want that
He
shit.
tried with Saweetie back in the days.
Well,
Nah,
She
I'm out of his
ain't
league.
popping enough.
She not. You remember that song we said, if you ain't got enough haters, you ain't popping. He ain't popping enough
ain't
for
popping.
Sweetie. You know what I mean? Go find out what she's doing. I don't remember her name. I'm not Googling it. But if you watch that show on
Sweeney.
HBO, Euphoria.
Yeah.
The blonde joint with the cannons.
Allison
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Find
I
out what
should know that
she's
name.
doing.
Ha, Google that, fellas.
Get seen with her a few times. If that doesn't work,
You had that name pulled up on the Rolodex, bro.
Hey,
Coil Ray is twerking
the mental
everywhere.
Rolodex for sure.
Go get seen with Coil Ray. What I'm trying to say to you is,
Hey,
Jack,
Siri.
the music ain't hitting enough, but ain't nothing like a good relationship to get you lit. So go do that. Then give us some more dad joke bars. See what Drake is doing. See if you can get a collab album or a collab feature, some shit. But keep this fucking album. You're not good enough for the soul samples. I don't give a fuck about your introspection because your life is good. Okay? Keep it. I'm okay. That's all I got to say about that. I can't believe Sin made me listen to this fucking album.
Sin
I can't
definitely
believe it.
made us listen
I
to
did
this
not
album.
make y'all do any. Like, if you would have just said, nah, fuck it, keep it. I'm
Sin,
like,
you
all
know
right,
that's
say
how
less.
he felt by default, bro.
So
Yeah, but then he said, well, maybe. So I was like, all right, fuck it.
Use the word old.
you brought the album to the
Right.
chat. That's it.
Nah. Overall, it just felt like he was like, yo, I'm a show all these naysayers. I got some substance. I got substance. Listen to my substance.
Congratulations.
Asher Roth was better than Jack Harlow.
Facts. Talk about it. That nigga love college. But
Definitely was.
so we got a story here about shady Rock Nation business. I'm sure the Nas fans in the chat will love this.
Let's hear
Shout out to
about
Leroy.
it. Wow. Leroy, what the fuck?
Houston-based producer Kenny D. Brown basically says that he got into links with Lenny S., Lenny Santiago, Rock Nation. You already know Lenny S. from Rockefeller era and all of that. Another person who moved on with Jay-Z and did okay after the Rockefeller breakup. So basically, the song, I want to get the songs for you guys right now.
Plain Jane.
And Fuck
FNF.
Nigga Free.
Yeah.
Rock Nation's getting royalties for that. You know what I
Plain
mean?
Jane from ASAP Ferg.
A$AP Ferg.
FNF from Glorilla.
So, I read this article and I really wanted to feel bad for this guy. I really did. But it seems like a case of clout chasing gone wrong. He met Lenny S. He sent him some beats. Next thing you know, they're getting publishing for these beats and these songs go viral. Sin, I feel like he's a victim of that industry rule, bro.
Shady.
1080?
Oh,
shit.
Pay that man, bro.
Okay, talk about it, Sin.
Pay that man, bro. Like,
Talking to a producer.
Obviously, I don't know all the full details. I don't know what's going on behind the curtains and stuff like that. But if this in fact was his productions from some type of beat CD or flash drive, or maybe just email them, whatever. I don't know what they do nowadays. But if it is his productions, gotta pay that man, bro. Like, Rock Nation, what? Why does that Rock Nation? Why would Rock Nation even need to like be shady like this? Like, do this kind of like, shady business? Like,
Y'all got the bread.
bro. Like, y'all clearly got the bread. Like, pay that man. That's it, man. That's all I got to say about it. I ain't trying to hear nothing else. Pay that man.
Did that man sign paperwork? Or did
Supposedly
he email
handed in
some beats
samples.
and got finessed?
I mean, still though, it's still your work.
Still, you know what I mean?
Right.
If he got the receipts, you know what I mean? If he got the receipts and pull them up and he's like, yo, this is the the beat CD or the flash drive that I had them on or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's my tag, or this is how, like, or even if he comes out and he's like, yo, that, like, I'll walk you through the entire beat making process of how I made this beat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, show the stems, show all the samples and the sounds that he used. Like, if he got the receipts, pay that man. Fuck paperwork or not. You know what I mean? It's his, pay it.
I agree. We said if I send Hove a clip from the gray area, good sports talk. Rock Nation dropped some shit called the black area with pretty much the same equivalent of your shit. Nah, cut my nigga Java check. Spend that cash. You using his shit, cut the check. Like I said, Hove can afford it, bro.
Mass Appeal gang getting that Rock Nation. That's it. That's it.
Right?
That's kind of crazy. Now listen, man. Ultimately, listen. Y'all know I got no dog in the fight. I would love as much as anybody to expose Rock Nation's shady business practices. And maybe I'll get a chance when we get to talking about the NFL again. When we get to talking about Tory Lanez, who said them Rock Nation lawyers was on some funny shit. You know what I mean? Maybe when we get to talk about federal informants, we can talk about Rock Nation. But ultimately, I got to keep it a buck, man. Like, listen, this sounds like Rock Nation was just representing these two. From what I know about Glorilla, FNF, she came out with independently before she was even signed to any sort of management deal anywhere. So these are, you know what I mean? So I think that this is just that Rock Nation is your boss. They got the most money. I'm going to slap their name on this lawsuit type of situation. This is from 2017 Plain Jane drop and 2022 FNF drop. You know what I mean? This is what happened 5 years ago. You never said nothing about Plain Jane for 5 fucking years. So I feel like Rock Nation just happens to represent these two dudes or happen to represent these two artists. And maybe old boy did get jerked for his shit, but I don't think it had nothing to do with Rock Nation. Those are two separate artists that decided not to pay you for your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think boys clout chasing, but Rock Nation, I'm coming for you.
So the article says, let me get his name again. I want to scroll and make sure I get this name.
Carrie
right.
D. Brown.
Carrie D. Brown apparently gave Lenny S samples of his instrumentals with an eye to build a relationship going forward, but never transferred the rights to his music at that point. Brown says then he found out his 2 instrumentals, You Don't Know Nothing About Me, and Audio Box instrumentals were used for Plain Jane and F&F without permission. Rock Nation, Lenny Santiago, Sony Music Entertainment Digital LLC, and Black Noise Records LLC have been named in the lawsuit. Here's where my issue with him is. You're a producer. You're looking to make a way into the game. You just can't send niggas beats. I agree, like
Put your tag on it.
put your tag on it, but make sure it's already copyrighted. Make sure that if they do any kind of business with these beats, that you're already accounted for, trademark, copyrighted, so that we don't have to get to this point. It's already legally binding that they have to pay you. Like, to me, I understand building a relationship, but giving this nigga beats when you're a producer, no vocals, no nothing to make it yours, or you leaving it for them to manipulate, put you in a position of weakness. There could have been a whole other way to do that. Once you place those beats in that man's hands, as an industry person who's always looking for a way to make money, you kind of fucked yourself. I don't feel bad for this guy. And it's not because I don't want him to get paid or I'm some Rock Nation fan. It's just that you are very negligent in the business of rap. Nigga, no, none of these industry niggas are your friend. Just like the dude offering you money in the street or offering you some random fucking food in the street or whatever the case may be, or he want to just chit chat you. We walk in New York right now, some niggas just try to friend you up out of nowhere. We looking at you sideways.
Facts.
Why would Lenny S want to fuck with you? Why would you give him your beats? Why would you not have fail safes in place to where if shit pop off, you get paid?
Gotta get your shit right.
So, pay him. Don't get me wrong, but why would you be so stupid?
Get your shit right.
That's why my beats always live in my heart.
Come on, son. Like how you fuck yourself like that?
Real shit. Like, and also, to play the other side of the fence, like Mase said, like Plain James 2017, like what happened in those 5 years? Like you just now realized it, or
Maybe the first one
it?
got swindled. He was like, all right, they got me on the first one, but when the second one came out, he was like, all right, that's the last straw.
Possibly. I thought it said somewhere in the article that they were copyrighted somehow, but maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Before we move on, before we leave, I should say. I'm sorry. We usually don't get into like the drama side of hip hop. We keep it music. We keep it entertainment. Yeah. But I felt like this topic was kind of notable. Pras going to prison. Federal informant. Got paid by the Chinese government to do some things. Mase, what are your thoughts on that? Like, a legend in the game becoming a weapon of political warfare.
This is
kind of.
Glad you passed me the bowl, job. Rest in peace, Tupac. Continuously, the people that Tupac didn't fuck with and their associates, they come out to be, basically in two camps. Yeah, so they were resistance. I just seen Puff in a pool with somebody shirtless again. You know what I mean? How many shirtless pics Puff gonna take in the pool with niggas? You know what I mean? We talk about shins, and shit. Jimmy Henchman, shins. So they were resistance. I went and they're all out. So rest in peace to Tupac. You was telling us about these niggas 20, 30 years ago, and we didn't listen to you,
That's
bro.
crazy, bro.
I'm not shocked at all, man.
Say can't lean back no more.
Rest in peace.
Wow.
Damn, Mase,
Yes,
top rope.
I gotta say,
That's crazy.
man. I gotta say.
I'm gonna
Anybody
call
wanna
you
take that?
Stacey Augment, bro.
Listen.
Plastic Man. The way you stretch that
shit.
fucking point out, bro.
Just saying,
Get the
man.
fuck out of
Rest in
here.
peace, man.
I mean, your man was convicted on 10 accounts of finance-related federal charges, man. Money laundering, campaign finance violations, and found guilty. I'm using illegally obtained funds to supposedly that he got paid to get close to Obama, some shit like that. That's apparently what happened. He used those funds to do that, and then there was millions of dollars of funds left over, which he kind of used to have himself a good life. I mean, this is crazy. Proswell Michelle, man. This is crazy. I wouldn't go as far as with the whole show. They with the snitches and the weirdos.
He's in the snitch part.
But this is crazy. I mean, I was wondering what the f*** you don't know what the but this is wild. Wow. You kind of lost for I really don't know what to say about this.
I honestly don't give two shits.
Ghetto superstar.
At all. Like, I haven't thought about Pras in eons.
Bro.
He was the worst Fuji
by far.
Fucking ghetto superstar.
But
it was
before
annoying.
Silk the Shocker, it was him.
It's
shit.
Annoying 25 years later. And that's his only claim to fame. Bro, I'm not saying that I want to see this for him. I don't want to see this for anybody, but like, I just can't bring myself to care about this story, bro. Like, if he's going to jail, he's going to jail. Oh wow.
Buffalo Soldier, dreadlock, star. Yo,
I really don't.
Get rid of this guy.
Get rid of Pras. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Like,
it's weird.
It was so random.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I woke up, I was eating French fries, and it was like, Pras was a federal informant. I was like, what? Can I get the ketchup? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Shit.
I don't really want to, step on any toes, but this is crazy. And I think that's the overarching thing. Like, I don't really know the specifics, but if he indeed did what they say he did, this is one of the wildest stories in rap history.
Facts.
And why did they choose him? I got questions. Like, why him? What? Like, there's so many other guys you could have chosen. What
they
made
was
him
signing
viable?
Jimmy Henchman when they came out.
That's crazy. Hold your head, Pras. That's all I got.
Back in the day, Will Forte got caught with like
John Forte. Will Forte was a basketball player.
Oh, my bad.
But
John
it's
Forte.
that's tough, bro. Like,
got to pour it in and all that.
Yeah. I mean, the bread, though, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, who knows what was going on behind the scenes that he could give up info on? I don't know, but maybe Desiree Perez does.
Well,
how about,
Young Thug.
How about them Lakers?
Yeah. Young Thug posted Gunna's album link on his Instagram page, and then not too long after that, removed Gunna's album on his Instagram page. I'm looking at Mase, something or nothing there.
I think listen, at first when it first went up, I was like, maybe like they're in a point in the trial where Thug needs to make it seem like, hey, I'm not gonna kill this guy when I get out of jail. You know what I mean? But it got taken down so quick. I was like, maybe the nigga got hacked. I don't know, man. So I guess nothing. You know what I mean? Who knows, man? YSL doing bad though, because it's got a lot more antics in their case.
This is so weird because I had hope. I was like, maybe Thug knew something about the Gunna snitching situation, and maybe he realized that Gunna wasn't snitching. But then he took his album down, and it's like, I'm lost now.
Right.
Like, is Young Thug going to prison?
This whole shit doesn't make any sense.
Is Gunna a snitch? Bro. Is YSL over? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I don't know.
Niggas said, yo, is the Rap Roundtable hip hop podcast unit, or they're a criminal organization? Niggas is criminals. Like, come on, bro. You can't do that. That's snitching. Say
Real
what you
podcast.
Want. We're a podcast. It's snitching. I personally think he was hacked.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this album is like a year and a half old. So what the fuck is the point of promo? Now, granted, he is his artist, so he gets paid regardless. But I don't see any plus side in posting this shit. What does that do for anybody?
I'm asking Sin. He over there quiet.
You think about Thug and Gunna, Sin.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
What Gunna should have did, okay? Some integrity in this motherfucker.
Any thoughts on Gunna and Young Thug, though? Walter's
a hack, man.
Listen, man. YSL needed Walt and Sin on the team, apparently.
Niggas got to be
they
quiet.
Ain't saying shit.
Omerta. Yeah, probably hacked. You're right. So now we get into the segment where we kind of expand even further on the industry. Mase has dropped a couple of nuggets about how the game is played throughout this episode, and now he's going to break it down even further. Masito, voice of the industry. What's good?
It was good, y'all. I'm going to tell you, what inspired this entire segment was NBA YoungBoy dropped this week. He did $65K this first week. You know what I mean? And I say, you know what? first quarter's over. Let me do a little first quarter rundown. See what's going on. Do some research. So when I did do my research, you know what I found out? That in the top 16 albums this year, selling wise, the top 16 selling hip hop albums, none of them were released this year. No hip hop album has gone number 1 in 2023. Not one. The top 3 first week sales, the top 3 was NBA YoungBoy 65, Trippie Redd 56, and Yeet. I don't know if you guys listen to Yeet, 55K. That's the top 3 first album week sales of rap albums in the first 4 months of 2023. You know what I mean? So I know what y'all saying. Last year we had Drake, we had Kendrick, we had Future, we had Pusha, we had JID. You love that guy.
Gunna went
you know
number
what I
1
mean?
in 2021.
Right. We had that's what they saying. You know, I know that's what they gonna think automatically. All the heavy hitters dropped last year, so that's why everything is weak. But this is what I look at it. Think about 2013, 10 years ago. You know what the top 5 selling albums first week wise were that year? It was Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP 2, did 793. Drake did 658 with Nothing Was the Same. The Local Celebrity Rapper, Magna Carta Holy Grail, was 527. Ye was 327 and J. Cole was 298. But what I want you to peep was at that point, 10 years ago, that was a nice mix between the older generation and the newer generation that was coming up. You know what I'm saying? And right now, we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? I know what y'all saying. No music is selling this year. Well, you would be wrong. SZA album has been number 1 8 weeks this year. You know what I mean? She's already going platinum. Morgan Wallen, y'all might not fuck with him. He been number 1 for 5 weeks. He's already double platinum this year. Niggas are selling. You know what I mean? It's hip hop that's not selling. So ultimately, this is what I want to say. Not only was I completely wrong about 3 episodes ago when I said Ebro was, wrong about us needing a superstar in hip hop, but basically the new generation, they not, but not only that, Ebro was wrong. The speculation is wrong. You know what I mean? The young rap fans are not secretly holding streaming farms and playing the songs in the background while they go do something else. That's not actually happening if y'all look at the numbers. You know what I mean? What they not doing is they actually not performing the new generation. So if you look at Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole as, what Nas and Jay-Z and Eminem and Kanye were 10 years ago, we don't have a Drake, a J. Cole, or Kendrick coming up. You know what I mean? They not ready. But ultimately, what I also want to show y'all is that the streams, of course you want to stream, but album sales aren't what's getting your favorite artist support. It's not what's getting them the big deal. It's not what's getting Benny a deal what he wanted to at Def Jam. You gotta, of course, stream, but you gotta buy that merch. And you got to go on these tours. You got to pay for those tickets because ultimately that's the number 1 way to show that an artist is doing well this year is those ticket sales. So I don't want y'all to go crazy and think, hey, my favorite artist isn't selling. It's the end of the world. Listen, guys, ain't nobody in hip hop selling right now. So, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll do better for the rest of the year.
That's crazy. Like, I don't understand how this situation has become what it was. Like, we were a few years ago said the number 1 genre, but are we the number 1 genre by way of quality or volume? It's clearly volume.
It's volume. It's easy to make a hip hop record these days.
That's troubling. We need a star.
We need a star.
We need a new star. We know who all the old guard stars. Because to me, Cole, Kendrick, Drake, they're the old guard. Right? The older guard is our guys. Who's gonna be the guy for the new era?
R.I.P. Pop Smoke, because that's what I thought it was gonna be.
Dudes is out here telling Chat GPT to make him a trap beat. Drill beat.
This is, man. That's what's gonna happen soon.
And write him some lyrics, and then that's what it is.
Tough. We've reached my point in the episode where, we get to the mailbag. We get to hear from our listeners, our viewers who have takes, and they get their takes discussed on air. Mad Max, a contributor, top tier contributor to the Rap Roundtable, he says, laugh at my, see, I want to lean back. You know what I mean?
All episodes
to no avail.
Oh, you know what I mean? Laughing my ass off. I stand on Ready to Die being overrated. I'll go in depth another day on that because it's getting ridiculous. I see niggas have Ready to Die over Get Rich, all eyes. Me, I don't fucking know. Look at this shit.
As soon as he said ready to die overrated, Sin's blood pressure went up.
You know what I mean? Shit like that. You have to stop. It's not like that. Sin, this is just for you.
We went over this already, bro. Like, why are we still talking about this? Ready to Die is an absolute classic.
The fuck are you talking about?
Absolute. 10 out of 10.
Get rid of this guy.
Right? It may look, and just to be clear, like, not all classics have, not all, like, to borrow Jarv's sentence, his phrase, not all classics are flawless victories. You know what I mean? Ready to Die has a joint that you might skip. There's a joint that I skip. It's still an absolute classic. You know what I mean? Warning to the What, to Juicy, all-time iconic song. Everyday Struggle, One More Chance, plus the remix that it spawned. Give Me the Loop, one of the rawest songs of all time. The way that Biggie mixed the rawness with the fly shit, you know what I mean? He was simultaneously Griselda and fucking Fly Lifestyle, Rick Ross.
The fence straddler.
Simultaneously, at the same time. You know what I mean? The shit that you love about Life After Death, that shit was spawned on Ready to Die. You know what I mean? I'm tired of talking to this guy, man. Don't bring him up again, bro. Like,
I'm gonna.
Max hates Biggie, bro.
Ezekiel Robinson says, salute. Yeah, Jarv, talk all that shit you need to, fam. Take as long as needed to give Jay-Z his flowers. Well deserved. Folks better stop running this nonsensical narrative. Hove that guy, period. Thank you, Ezekiel. I agree. Moises Figueroa, must be Dominican, says, rapping is a brag competition. Rap started with the whole I'm better than you bravado. And no one does that better than Jay-Z. I'm better than you and I live it. That's Jay-Z. Didi, your thoughts?
Absolutely. No one's ever done the I'm better than you. Like, Simba broke it down pretty much better than anyone I've ever heard. Like, Hove is the I'm better than you rapper, and it's just flawless, man.
Okay. Last but not least, Mace's is coming to you. Nadia K says, Mace's Wi-Fi got him sounding like a backwards AC/DC record. What the fuck?
Wow.
Nadia, I don't remember.
Nas quote.
I don't remember this specific episode, Nadia.
Nas?
It's the rooftop joint.
Oh, the rooftop joint. Listen, man, I was living a
AC/DC.
fly lifestyle. Nadia, I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to deal with the choppiness.
Rooftop
man.
sermons,
You know
man. She
what
got to get
I'm
a part
saying?
of
Like,
the tape.
listen, Nadia, I'll make sure I have better Wi-Fi so you can hear me clearly next time.
Hear me
Clearly.
clearly.
Shout out to Push.
And last but not least, we have, a nice trip. We were all late when we made it uptown. We took Walter with us because he was like, Walter, we got to get you out of Park Slope.
Yes, sir.
Then we realized that we bought a bottle of tequila that might not be good for podcasting because it sure feels like I drank Jameson tonight.
I'm smacked.
Now
fact.
we're crushing the leaves. We're crushing the tulips. And Sincere needs us to
Cook.
after that, Inyeho, I'm gonna try to get through this lawn segment. All right, I have a little thorn in my side, little annoyance that gets under my skin, man. And I'm gonna need these people to get off my lawn. I've noticed a growing abundance of people on Twitter, and I have a feeling like people on Twitter don't always, or more so rarely, put their actual photo as their Abby, and like anytime that I see somebody that does not put their actual photo as their Abby, I just assume they're like
Trolly.
young, probably white. Sorry, Walter. And they, in the circles of hip hop Twitter, I feel like there's a lot of nerdy young voices, Gen Z voices that are, trying to be heard and trying to have their opinions felt. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, or some of them, I've noticed have started talking about the production aspect of things and try to talk about beat making and production and sampling like they are some type of expert on the subject, right? Just because I feel like what it feels like to me is like they just now are discovering sample-based hip hop, and they're getting into the Griseldas and the Rock Marcianos and the Mock Hamis, and anytime that there's like a sample, one thing they love to do is they love to sample snitch, right? That's so I already talked about that. They need to get off my lawn, right? But this other thing that I've noticed is that whenever there's a sample used by maybe one of their favorite producers, one of their favorite artists, they're like, oh my God, this sample flip is so amazing. It's like the talent that it takes to flip the sample. Meanwhile, they don't know where the sample came from. They don't know what it took to make that beat. And a lot of times it's just a loop. It's just a simple loop. And I'm not trying to say that like looping is whack. By no means, right? This beat that you're listening to right now that I produced, right? Mostly loops. Looping is fire, right? But I just don't like people coming in when they just by the shit that they say, they clearly don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know the process of beat making. They don't know the process of sampling. They don't know the process of chopping up samples, filtering, pitching, programming, MIDI, none of that shit. You know what I mean? And there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna talk about a sample flip, you know what I mean? Talk about a Jay Dilla with Don't Cry. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Talk about Havoc, what he did with the Shook Ones beat. If you don't
Herbie
know about
Hancock.
that, look that up.
Talk about it.
Talk about RZA, what he did with the Ice Cream beat. You know what I mean? There's levels to this sampling shit. You know what I mean? There are shoguns, there are masses out there that really, really flip samples, meaning that they manipulate them to become something completely different from what it originally was, right? Now, a lot of my beats that I make, it's a mixed bag. You know what I mean? This one is more loop based. I've definitely made some beats where I flip some shit, and I'm proud of the flip because I was like, and I'll go back and listen to the beat and then listen to the sound. I'm like, oh shit, I really came up with that. Like I really manipulated that shit to do something completely different, right? But if you coming into these conversations talking about, oh my God, how could you talk about this beat? Like do you even understand what it took to make this beat and what it took to flip this beat or flip this sample? If you're coming at me in that fashion, you clearly don't know who you're talking to. Because I does this shit. I know about this shit, right? Don't come at me talking like no expert about flipping and sampling and none of that shit. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you just happen to like the beat. It's cool to like the beat. You like the beat? I love it. You know what I mean? But as far as the technical aspect of shit, unless you also make beats, don't come talking to me about this shit, man. Get the fuck off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Add on.
I don't even got nothing to say.
Oh, you ain't got no add-ons?
Did you just hear that shit?
That's a cook.
Shit.
You just need a few. Get off my lawns.
Did you hear what he just said?
He cooked.
He said everything I might have thought about saying. Covered every base.
Talk about it, Sin.
Honestly, if you're a culture vulture, because that's who he's talking to. You know what I mean? You niggas, get the fuck out of here. Deanie, take us home.
Yo, this is episode 70, man. Shout out to all the people who fuck with us. We fuck with y'all the long way. Shout out to Walt, keeping you here. My guy, we always appreciate you. Shout out to Masito, voice of the industry, giving y'all that top-notch shit that y'all need to hear. Y'all can learn something from this man. Shout out to Sincere, the rap snob. Y'all hear the production, god damn it. This is different. I just want to let you know, this shit's different. This is my shit. The point guard. Assists were thrown just impeccably today. The lobs, amazing. Shout out to you for orchestrating and running the offense, facilitating. You do what you do, my brother. I'm Deanie, the balance of the force, keeping shit balanced. With our powers combined, we the rap roundtable, and we the fuck out of here, you dig? Boom! Kobe, Big B. I see what the fuck going on.
Shouts to LA. This is very LA.
All right. Nigga, this shit different. The bop of my head.